Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain For You, and I just want to pan around a little bit here. It's so foggy. It's only about 45 degrees, so it's pretty warm. But this, this weather with all the fog, the silhouettes of the trees can feel kind of spooky, right? Give you that little ominous type of a feel, like a little bit creepy, horror movie type of stuff. And I'm pointing this out because TMS can be the same, right? The topic of this video is that TMS, or this mind-body syndrome, or this psychophysiological pain disorder, or the stress illness, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same stuff. But this TMS is not a serious health issue. So that's the topic here. TMS is not a serious health issue. And it's just about the same as this. The woods here that seem all doom and gloom, with a shift in perspective and the sun breaking through the sky, it becomes beautiful and sunny and bright. So with a shift in perspective about your TMS or your symptoms that you've got going on, we can shift from this doom and gloom and dreary and dark and ominous type of feel to a bright sunny day. And that's what I hope to encourage you to do in this video, is to just realize that TMS is benign. TMS means there's nothing wrong with your body. TMS is just a set of symptoms that can range anywhere from pain, muscle spasm, nerve pain, anywhere in the body, burning, numbness, tingling, weakness of various muscle groups. It can virtually encompass any type of symptom you can imagine. Gastrointestinal problems, immune challenges, right? Because stress suppresses the immune system and the digestive system. Can manifest in headaches, jaw pain, you name it. And like I said, there's almost no end to the type of symptoms that TMS can create, right? And so instead of this dreary, doom and gloom, ominous type of weather, I'm going to try to shine a light on this here, and you'll see in a future video, go look back at them where it's much brighter. The same woods are no more scary, well, they're no longer scary when the sun is shining. So TMS, it is not a serious health issue. I know the symptoms can feel that way. I know they can feel extremely scary, especially new ones or freaky ones, or ones that just make you feel like something's got to be wrong. This is not right. This is not your standard back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, whatever. This is different, and I'm different, and so I must really be screwed. And I will encourage you not to go down that dark path. The way I always recommend it, and you've heard me say this if you've watched any of my videos, is to rule out the life-threatening. Yeah, doc, hey, I got some weird symptoms going on. I want to rule out the life-threatening. I think a lot of it's stress-induced. But can you make sure I've got nothing significant health-wise going on? Cancers, heart attacks, strokes, infectious disease, things like that. That's what I mean by rule out the life-threatening. Now, I will say, there's a number of TMS groups here, and there's a common phrase: rule out the physical. Okay, so look, it is important if you're just new to this world and you've got some chronic symptoms of some sort, yeah, getting checked out by a medical doctor is a good idea. But if you go in and say, well, I want to rule out the physical, the doctor's going to go, well, of course it's physical. Look, here's your MRI, here's your x-rays, here's your whatever. Here's proof that you're broken. And they're wrong in most cases. There are some cases where medical intervention is necessary. I think Dr. Schubner said a certain percentage, a small percentage, maybe 5% of people with hip pain need a hip replacement. There are cases like that. So, yes, get a medical evaluation. Right? That's important. But if the doctors are going to call it tendonitis, or you got this bulging or herniated disc, or this tear in your shoulder, or this and that, and this level, and those are what Dr. Sarno refers to as normal abnormalities. And so at this point, regardless of what the doctors find, and even if they say, here's the proof, it's physical, what I will encourage you to do is now rule in this thing called TMS. And at the top of the Facebook group, Pain for You, there is a announcement. And within there, I list several assessments you can do. ppdassociation.org/symptoms. That is Schubner and Clark and Schechter and Gordon's, and there's a whole organization of people studying this mind-body pain and symptom disorder. And they've got a great set of like 30 questions that you can answer. The more of them you answer yes, the more likely it is TMS. I have a pain test at danbuglio.com/pain test. Take that. Any score over 29 means it's most likely TMS, and you can proceed accordingly. And lastly, at painforyou.com, there is a downloadable self-assessment. And while that does not get scored, you can get a really good idea based on your answers as to whether or not you've got TMS. So look, if the answer from these various assessments, or if you've been fortunate enough to go to a medical doctor who specializes in TMS, and they have told you you have TMS, then what that means is it is not a significant or serious medical challenge or issue. And I know we can go around feeling like we're broken and feeling like we're screwed, and this isn't gonna get better, right? Especially if you've had the symptoms for any length of time, especially if it's been resisting your, kind of mind-body approach to begin with. But I will tell you, it is not a serious health issue. And when you can make that shift in perspective, things don't look as doom and gloom and scary anymore. The sun can come out, and you can kind of shift your perspective to one that is more bright, and the sun is out, and the sun is shining, and things are more optimistic. And all that is a shift in perspective that you're able to achieve through a decision to stop focusing on the symptoms, a decision to stop fearing the symptoms. How can you stop fearing them? Oh, it hurts so bad. How am I not supposed to be afraid of this? Because you've done the assessment, you're not dying, there's no life-threatening anything. This is not a serious medical issue or health issue. It's just a bunch of weird symptoms as a result of TMS, too much stress. And so your number one goal is going to be turn down the volume on your stress. Do what you can to stop freaking yourself out, particularly about these symptoms, particularly about social situations, particularly about avoiding emotions. All of it is much easier if you convince yourself and believe and decide that it's really not that hard, right? And so intellectually we can say, yeah, they are just emotions. I can feel them. But if we start to feel them and we start to get agitated or upset or, fearful that, oh, I don't like being this way, these are just old decisions that are out of date that I'm going to encourage you to update. Because if you say, oh my God, I can't get sad. My mom was depressed all her life and in and out of, psychiatrist offices for her whole life and on meds her whole life, and I don't want to be like her, so I can't be sad because I don't want to be depressed like my mom. Well, there's no saying that you are like your mom or you will end up like that. And sadness is normal. If you're sad, be sad. Allow it. What you're going to find is that if you actually stop resisting the sadness and stop running away from it, it stops chasing you. And if you sit with it, go back to my video called Hold an Open House for Your Emotions. Hey, look, sometimes sadness is going to come knocking on the door. Let it in. Sit with it. Hug it. Hang out with it for a while. After a while, the sadness is going to say, wow, thank you for honoring me, for being with me, holding space in your heart for me. And the sadness is going to go, I feel better. And it will let itself out the back door. Same with any of these emotions. Guilt, shame, anger, rage, right? Decide that these emotions don't mean anything. You hear those birds? That's cool. Yeah, decide that these emotions don't mean anything. But what I'm really trying to get through to you here is that these symptoms don't mean anything either. And when you can lose the fear of the symptoms, they lose power. Because once you are able to make a decision that the symptoms don't matter, you are able to more easily shift your focus away from the symptoms back to your life. And I know it sounds really dismissive that, oh, you know, don't care about your symptoms, don't care about your pain, just don't care. Well, how am I supposed to do that, Dan? Just don't care, because that will help you greatly. And it's how it works. You shift your focus away from the symptoms back towards living life, and the symptoms will learn that they're no longer in charge, and the brain will let go of those connections. So, recently saw a couple of posts, and I was tagged in one of them in another one of the TMS groups, and there was one or two gentlemen who were struggling with resuming physical activity, and whammo, back came the pain. And so the purpose of the pain here is to protect us. And if the brain perceives that you're doing something dangerous, it's going to ramp up the pain significantly to stop you. In one case, this guy went for a 3-mile run. And after he got back, the pain spiked like crazy. And of course, the doubts come flooding in. And, oh my God, what did I do? Did I push myself too hard? Did I hurt my back now? Right? And so the pain will increase based on the brain's perception of the need to protect you. Now look, initially, Sarno said, the brain is trying to distract you, therefore protect you from these overwhelming, scary, dangerous emotions that don't fit with your self-image. And that's the initial reason for the pain. But now that you've taken on this belief that, oh, I've got a bad back, or I've got a bad neck, or I've got whatever, or every time I exert myself I get a headache, guess what's going to happen every time you do something? So the pain will not only just protect you from these negative emotions, but it will also protect us from movement, from social situations, from the emotions, anything it perceives as being dangerous, right? So TMS can kind of take on a mind of its own after it's initially started. Because like I've explained in past videos, we get the pain. It's there to distract us from the emotions. And if we don't know about TMS, or even if we do, but we get medicalized, we're told that we're broken. Media, doctors, friends, family, be careful, you're going to hurt yourself. Oh, don't do that, I'll get it. You know, before you know it, we're fragile, broken people that can't do anything. And the brain believes that. And every time you hurt, when you do something, it just confirms that belief. So, for the gentleman who said, I want to take yoga, I really shouldn't, but I really want to, and you know, he went into this this yoga class fearing it, worried it's going to hurt him. And sure enough, you know, the brain said, movement is bad, movement is dangerous, you've got a bad back, because that's still part of his psyche and his belief. And so, as he began this yoga class, the pain ramped up, and it got so bad, he had to leave. And so, the brain, needing to protect him, worked flawlessly. It ramped up the pain because it was worried that movement is bad. The pain came on, and it got him the heck out of that yoga class. Perfect protection. Did exactly what it thought it needed to do. But at the end of the day, that's not a serious health issue. That's just a miswiring of the belief system that our body is frail and easily broken. And how do we get out of this? Same stuff I always talk about, knowledge about TMS. If you really truly know what TMS is and what its purpose is, then there's nothing to be afraid of. And when you can turn down the volume on the fear, it's much easier to turn away from the symptoms and the pain in the first place and put less and less focus and attention on it. Because what we focus on tends to grow and magnify. If we're constantly thinking about the pain, it'll stay wires, right? So one of the most important things I always talk about is a mindset of indifference, not caring. Literally, do not care about your symptoms or the pain. You should return your focus to something else, almost anything else. Now, a good way to deal with that is if your pain is kicking the ass, what emotions are you feeling right now? Right? Yeah, I know emotions about the pain, but what else is going on behind the scenes? Keep shifting your focus away from the pain or the symptoms. Choose not to freak out about them. Choose to remind yourself that these symptoms and these pains are just TMS. And as I've said before, TMS is the best news ever. It means you're not broken. Some people will conclude that they are now mentally broken, that they're all messed up in the head now. If my brain is doing this to me, I must really be nuts. No, no, no. You didn't do this to yourself. You didn't cause it. And there's an easy way out. Learn about TMS. Know that you've got it. Feel your emotions. Teach your brain that these emotions do not need to be run away from, or we don't need protection from them. Soothe yourself often. Get outside. Even if it's not nice out, get outside. Fresh air still feels great. And then develop that mindset of indifference. Then be aware when you're shifting your focus to the pain or the symptoms, and intentionally shift away from it. So again, TMS, this mind-body disorder, is not a serious illness. It is not a serious health issue. And the quicker you decide that that is accurate and true for you, it's true for everybody, but you need to decide for yourself that, wow, this really is not a serious health issue. And when you can get these couple of things right, knowledge, assessment, and acceptance that you've got TMS, doing the emotional discovery, soothing yourself, and getting the mindset right, when you do that stuff, these symptoms can go away so much faster than you realize. And I hear it all the time. I get all these positive comments in the Facebook group, on YouTube, private messages, emails. People are getting better, folks. And they're the ones who have decided that TMS is good news. And that just by getting these few things dialed in, they can get better. You can too. So with that, please, please tell yourself, learn, believe, decide that TMS is not a major health crisis. It's great news. And dig in. So if you got questions, let me know. Or comments, let me know. If you've come to that realization and that's helped you, let me know. If you're struggling on how to do that, watch this video again. We've talked a lot about it. So with that, I'm going to say so long. Enjoy that nice, dreary, dark, image behind me of the trees and the fog. And just know, it's all an illusion. Because tomorrow, the sun's going to be out. And guess what? The same environment will take on a completely different feel. So with that, love you guys and gals. We'll talk to you later.